Yo, what is up, guys? Junior back at you again. Today we're going to be bringing you a brand new video about the huge update that Evony just did, releasing K45. Give you some of my thoughts about it, other people's thoughts, what the consensus kind of is at the moment, and then a few reasons why it's not that bad. Alright, let's jump into it. So, if you're anything like me, I'm sure you've already watched as many YouTube videos as you can about K45, what's coming with it, what people are trying to do with it, what they think about it, the new features, everything, yada, yada, yada. Well, I'm going to sit here and tell you that it's actually not that bad. And here's my reasons for that. So, first off, as you can see here, this is my main account. VIP 17, 6.4 bill, still keep 39. So, I was never going to catch the top players anyway. 0% chance that I was going to be competing with those guys. And I've kind of just accepted that, right? I know that I'm not going to be a VIP 20. I don't have that kind of money to be spending on the game. And I think I've spent quite enough already being VIP 17. So I'm kind of just playing with what I have. And I've accepted that. I don't plan on competing with RSP or Hot or even making it that deep into All-Stars with those guys. Maybe I'll push for, top 400 and maybe get into the finals, maybe, with a lot of heals. But it's not like I'm going to die if I don't, right? So once you think about it in that aspect and put yourself in that kind of scenario, then you can realize that, well, yeah, there is going to be K45s. Let me see here. I think we can just find them. See if Damon's or Rhythm's got there yet. So 44 already. Right. There's going to be people who spend a ton of money and you're never going to catch it. It is what it is. But with that, now at least Evony is giving you some grindable ways to get some buffs, especially on the defensive side of things. As you can see here, I'm upgrading my academy now, but this whole defensive advanced tree that they just added, this is great, right? Because it uses research stones, which a lot of us already have an abundance of. It takes gold, and realistically, all you have to do is upgrade your keep, and as we know, most free-to-play players, not all, but most, have farms or multiple farms or some way of getting resources instead of spending, right? So from like a resource perspective and a way to get easy buffs, and you can grind gold via Vikings, I think, priority number one, get your regular academy up and just complete that defense tree. That's what I'm going to do. And it's just a good grindable way to get buffs. I think, if I were to take a rally from anybody in the top tier players, or even probably just a solo at this point from Rhythm, I'd get zeroed, right? And I would have before the update. But at least now this will give me some more defensive buffs to kind of even that playing field a little bit. Yes, I know Rhythm is also going to get these buffs, but I ain't never attacking him anyways, right? So I think this is a good way to kind of balance out the attacking and defensive side of the game. And I'm actually really happy they did this. And I'm happy they used the old research stones instead of introducing a new item that we'd have to collect over time. So I think that's really, really, really good. And I applaud Evony for doing that. Another thing. So you guys probably have seen this, maybe not. Well, now you get buffs just from upgrading your buildings, right, past 35. A lot of us kept all of our buildings at 35, or at least the ones that didn't need to go above 35 there, because there was no reason. And now there's a reason, right? So I go up one level here to 36, get 5% range troop attack. That's pretty good. 37 HP, I don't really care too much about that. But as you can see, how it goes up. Again, this is another way for non-coiners to get more buffs, because they usually, and I'll emphasize usually, have farms to get RSS to help them build, right? So that's easy buffs for free to play or low coiners to get, and it's on. Let's speed up. It's on every single one. Go here, 36 up to Troop Attack. Great, these are great buffs, and most people, that are playing pretty consistently and really grinding out. I mean, most people are above K35, 36 at this point, right? The average is probably 36 to 37. So free buffs there. Let's see what sieges. I mean, siege machine attacking. It doesn't say when attacking or defense either. So it's universal buffs, which makes this even better, right? I mean, wow, it's really good. So another good way to get buffs. I'm still working on Military Academy 4, so Military Academy 6, yeah, I wasn't even planning on finishing Military Academy 5 in like the next year, basically, so really no effect to me. The big spenders will get it, I know that. It is what it is, right? Not too worried about it. Another good way to get your buffs up, by the way, I need to get my shrine up. So now I've kind of neglected all of these buildings just because you don't need them, or you didn't in the past, in pasture, for example. And now I'm gonna have to use my RSS to get those up, which is not bad. It's probably better off overall. So another thing, the Council of State. See, I gotta get pasture up. Jeez. Okay. Just RSS, right? So at least it's not taking treasure boxes or a ton of gold or tactic scrolls, whatever, right? So it's pretty easy to obtain. It's grindable. I like that. And then you go in here, and the strategy for this is pretty simple, right? You need to ascend generals to get all these buffs here, one for each type. Right now, I just have some 5 stars in there that I had left over, but my strategy is going to be very, very simple for this. Trajan for my ground guy, get him in the tavern. Cav, I'll probably do like Hannibal, someone else you can get in the tavern or in the Orange Relics or whatever, the Alliance shop. Archer, I'm going to do Minamoto. And Siege, I don't know who I'm going to do for Siege yet. It depends kind of who qualifies, because I already have, like, if a defensive general qualifies, then I might use him, because I already have William Marshall at 2 stars, so I might use him if possible, and enough for 3. But, in general, I'll be just using guys that you can get from the tavern, so free generals, because it doesn't matter. Their buffs don't matter. You just need to ascend them. So then the bottleneck becomes Blood of Ares, which, yes, easier to obtain by coining, but there are ways to get it by grinding, doing your gathering spots, killing monsters, and then participating in SVS, right? Getting your 540 million points in SVS, you'll get your Blood of Ares. So you're not going to get it as fast as coiners, but it's something that you can get over time for a free-to-play or low coiner. So I think this is all really, really good. I'm not too worried about 45 because those guys, you were never keeping up with those guys anyways. And if you ever told yourself that you were keeping up with the Rhythms or the Sir Phillips or anyone hot in RSB, you were just honestly just kind of lying to yourself, because unless you have that kind of money, if you do, you do you, boo-boo. I mean, that's awesome, but I don't. And so I'm trying to just play the game in my combat bracket, in my server's combat bracket, and kind of who we get matched up with in Battlefield. And I think stuff like this is going to help me. Now, the only problem is I want this other sub slot. And of course, that takes VIP 18. And I think I'm like halfway to VIP 18. So it's a little tease from Evony. Got to be careful with that. They really make you just want to get rid of your money. I don't know if I'll end up doing that or not. We'll see. But I did, add another sub, and I've got Catherine here. And Catherine, wow, her normal skill is not that great. Her ascension skills are awesome. Siege Machine defense and HP. I mean, look at all those HP and defense debuffs on Siege. It's awesome. Then you even got some range attack debuff, and then back to Siege Machine defense and HP debuff, and then Siege Machine and range attack. So she's awesome. Also available in the tavern. Get her, gear her up, and then send her. It's probably going to be my next goal. And on the topic of subs here, another reason why this is really good for non-coiners is most people are VIP 15, whether it's just from saving up all those VIP points from the shop or just playing a long time. Eventually getting login rewards. VIP goes up. I have some farms that are like VIP 13, and I've had them for like 6 months or so. And I don't spend on them. So I know VIP 15 is super attainable for a lot of people, and that's just another sub slot that you can get and get more debuffs, right? And you say, well, that's going to help the attacker too. Yeah, it will if they're soloing you, sure. Yeah, but you'll be able to combat that with your own subs, so that's fine. But then think about it in this case where you're getting rallied, which in C3 we're running a lot of rallies, we're getting rallied a lot, and they can't send their subs. Well, now you just got a whole nother sub gen that you can ascend that has the Amenity gear to do all these debuffs, so your defense will be even stronger, right? And that's not taking a lot of coining. VIP 15, I'm sure, is obtainable with very, very minimal coining. I don't know the exact number, but all of this to say that I think the update's actually pretty good, and it balances out defense and attack a little bit more. Obviously, attacking is going to be insane when someone has like MA 10 done or whatever it is. You're not going to be able to keep up with that, sure. But for the people that have like MA 5 done, this provides us mid-low coiners or free-to-play players even a good way to buff up our defense a little bit, right? And I think that's awesome. The more rallies you can stand, the more points you can get, the more hits you can take, the more SVS points you can get, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, I know what I'll be doing, and that's just using my RSS on buildings for like the next month or two, try to get everything up as much as I can. I'm not going to focus on troops too much. I think 6.4 build is probably just fine for now. I'm just going to get all my buildings up, get my academy up to as high as I can to finish off that defense tree. Try to get my council of state up. That way I can just get those min buffs from 5 stars. And then long-term goals, send those generals in the council of state. And then obviously get to keep 40 and 41, probably like in 15 years, 20 years, or, when I'm on my deathbed. But, long-term goals, and I think what we got given here is just pretty good overall. That being said, don't spend your money if you don't want to. I totally understand. A lot of people are pissed. I have no complaints from that end either. But yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll probably come out with some more videos here shortly, coming up with some ideas of what to put together that would be useful and beneficial to you guys. I don't know if it's going to be PvP related or general related or etc. But we'll come up with some new things, and yeah, please like and subscribe.